everybody. Let me introduce myself. My name is Valentine. I lived in Rome in the 3rd century. And during that time, long ago, that Emperor Claudius was the emperor, and he wanted to build this big army. Now, I didn't like Emperor Claudius very much, and neither did a lot of people. But he wanted to build a big army. And what happened was nobody signed up. The men weren't signing up because they wanted to not fight, but they wanted to be with their families, their wife and their kids. So what happened was Claudius got this crazy idea. And what he said was, there will be no more marriages. He put a law out, no more marriages, because marriages meant that people would not be getting married, and then they would sign up to be in the army. It was his logic. So I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but I happened to be a priest at that time. Yes, I was a priest, and one of my favorite activities was doing marriages. So what happened was, wasn't supposed to, but I kept doing marriages secretly. And so can you imagine a tiny little room with the bride and the groom and myself, and we were whispering in the ceremony, and they were speaking their vows, and we were also listening for any soldiers' footsteps. And one day we heard the footsteps of the soldiers coming. Well, fortunately, the couple that was getting married got away quickly. But me, I got caught because I'm just not as light on my feet as I used to be. So I got caught, I got thrown in jail, and my punishment was going to be death. Now, I tried to keep my spirits high, and wonderful things started to happen. The young folks would come to my window in the cell, and they would throw letters and cards up to me, encouraging me, because they wanted me to know that they thought I did the right thing by defying the Claudius law. And I got to be friends, actually, with the daughter of the prison guard. And being the daughter of the prison guard, we would sit and talk for hours, and it was just very sweet, and she kept my spirits up. And then it came the day of my death. And I wrote her a little note, and I signed it, "Love from your Valentine." So that is actually how the story got started. It was on my death day, which was February 14th, 269 AD. And so that is how it all started. Did you know that? Yes, some people do. Rare bunch of people. So what happened, that was the beginning of the cards and the letters and the love notes and the flowers and the singing of barbershop quartets, I'm sure. And so whenever people think about Valentine's Day, they think about love, they think about friendship, and they sometimes might think about Claudius, the Grinch of Valentine's Day. And they remember how he tried to stand in the way of love, and they laugh because they know the truth is that love can never be beaten. So there you have the story, and I was so grateful that Reverend Liz invited me here today. She also informed me that there was going to be a relationship recommitment renewal ceremony today. That's a lot of R's. Relationship, recommitment, renewal ceremony. And she asked if I could, no, I asked her, I forget. It was one of those. Somebody asked somebody, but she said it was okay, but it needed to be okay with you all if you wanted me to perform the ceremony. Otherwise, Reverend Liz would be happy too. So, anybody in favor of myself as your Valentine performing today's ceremony? Are there any nays? Got to give a fair chance here. Okay, well, it appears that we're good to go. So I'm going to share with you about the Relationship Commitment Renewal Ceremony to begin with. Commitments to sacred relationships with spirit and with life partners generally involve vows of love and commitment for a lifetime, which are exchanged with family and friends, as well as with Great Spirit. Now, as the years go by and we continue to grow and change, it's very vitally important that we set aside time to reaffirm the spirit of and commitment to our relationships, first with Spirit, which is love itself, unconditional love, and with our life partners. So on this Valentine's Day Sunday, we offer a relationship renewal ceremony as a special rededication and reaffirmation to ourselves, with our life partner, and with Spirit through a renewal ceremony. So we're going to do two types of vows today. We're going to do individual recommitment vows. And some of you may never have done commitment in the first place, so it can be commitment or recommitment. The first ceremony will be if you want to commit to a renewal or just a first time. Commitment to Spirit. So that's the first ceremony. And then we're going to do a second ceremony with couples. So if you have a desire, and all couples, all singles, anybody who wants to commit or recommit their relationship, their personal relationship with Spirit, I'm going to invite you to stand. Okay, so first of all, I invite any of you who want to reaffirm your sacred personal relationship with Spirit to purposely do so by responding to the following. Do you recommit yourself to your personal relationship with the divine, with Great Spirit, God, whatever name you call it? Do you recommit yourself? If so, please say, I do. I do. Excellent. And you did it all together. So impressive. I'll have to come back here again. So now please place your hands upon your heart. And I'm going to ask you to repeat after me. Sweet Spirit of love. Sweet Spirit of love. You are my beloved and you are my friend. You are my beloved and you are my friend. I reaffirm my commitment to deepening our relationship by practicing conscious awareness and attentiveness to you as my divine nature and perfect spiritual partner who makes all of my relationships holy. And so it is. And so I am. Yippee-doo. Yippee-done. Okay, so you have now made your recommitment, and I congratulate you. So I'm going to invite just the couples that want to do a recommitment to remain standing. Any couples who want to do a recommitment. So, invite you, first of all, to hold hands with your life partner. As I begin by reading The Art of Marriage by Wilford A. Peterson. And I love this reading, so may all of you folks, whether you're single or you're married to Spirit, whichever, and to another person. The Art of Marriage. Happiness in marriage is not something that just happens. A good marriage must be created. In marriage, the little things are the big things. It's never too late and too out of fashion to hold hands, right? It is remembering to say, I love you, at least once a day. Many more is helpful. It is never going to sleep angry. It is about having a mutual sense of values and common objectives. It is standing together, facing the world. It is forming a circle of love that gathers friends and family together. It is doing things for each other in the spirit of joy. It is speaking words of appreciation and demonstrating gratitude in thoughtful ways. It is cultivating flexibility, patience, understanding, and most importantly, a sense of humor. It is having the capacity to forgive and to forget. It is giving each other an atmosphere in which each can grow old gracefully and with love. It is a common search for the good and the beautiful, which when you look, you can see everywhere. And finally, it is not only marrying the right partner, it is being the right partner. So, for your recommitment vows, I invite you now to face your partner, holding hands, looking into each other's eyes as you reaffirm your sacred personal relationship with your partner by responding to the following. Do you recommit to be partners in love and to honor, cherish each other today and in all the days to come? If so, please say, I do. Now I invite you to please repeat after me. I pledge myself to you to be your partner. It is my vow to create for us a love that grows deeper with each passing day. In honesty, faith, and tenderness, a love that will enrich our lives, separately and together. I pray that our home will be one of love and understanding, filled with laughter, healing, and joy. You are my beloved and friend. I give you my trust in all my tomorrows. I love you, and so it is. You may kiss each other. And so let's give some love. Well, that was very special, and I'm so glad that Reverend Liz invited me. Yes.
I want that hat.
Well, I'm sorry, Bob. So, your individual vows, you made a commitment, individually and collectively. And we have been looking at commitments. We took the book called The 10 it's the 10 Commitments. And that's where the author, David Simon, MD, takes the 10 commandments and turns them into the commitments. And I've been speaking on this, and basically a commandment is when something else outside of you is telling you what to do, and that's not very empowering. A commitment is when you make the choice to commit to something. And so today we're doing 2 commitments. The first one is, I commit to love. And the verse that, the commandment that we are replacing is, thou shalt not commit adultery, right? No, you made a commitment to love, so you're not going to be out there looking at and being involved with somebody else. Now, David says, and I'm just going to share a short part of this book. It's got a lot of good things in it. But he says that when the mind is the internal reference, love is expressed through revelation. You share your memories and your dreams, your thoughts, your beliefs, fears and fantasies with those whom you feel safe with. Love Now listen to this. I thought this was interesting. Love between people is a contract to meet needs. But when I listened and read more, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Ultimately, it is a commitment that I will be there for you when you are thriving and when you are struggling, right? It's a commitment to being there for you no matter what, and you also have a commitment to me. Love is a commitment to help those that we love to heal their boundary rifts, even as we honor their boundlessness. Make the commitment to consciously communicate your needs and hear the needs of your loved ones. This is the highest expression of personal love. You know, whenever we're in a low vibration of emotions, it's because there's a need not being met. Okay? Just think about that. You want to take responsibility by identifying your needs and to be able to share them and be vulnerable and asking for what you need, rather than expecting the people in your life to read your mind. I'm sure none of you do that. So there's 4 A's that they talk about that everybody needs. The first one is, yes, I got them, but they're swimming around, you know, going out of a body into a body, something else, is affection. Affection. Everybody needs affection, and you all know what affection is. That's when you give that physical touch, you give a hug, you might cuddle and snuggle. It's affection. We, as beings, have a need for touch, right? And so just having that physical touch is so important. Sometimes I've been in hospice places where I just crawl into the bed with the person and stroke their hair. They just want to be touched. It's so important to our well-being. So affection. The other one, second one, is attention. Now, attention, giving somebody your full attention versus you're giving them your semi-attention because you're busy. What if you stopped and looked them in the eye and listened? That is one of the biggest gifts of love, is giving somebody your attention. 100%, not halfway, not 3/4 of a way. Give your attention. It's so important. And when you're not getting the attention, you're probably going to get irritated. You know, these are needs. And so if you're not getting these needs, you could get frustrated. And you can maybe say, I need your attention, please, right? And then see if your person will respond because they didn't know that that was something you were needing. Number 3, appreciation. Who gets too much appreciation? I've never seen anyone raise their hand. You know, appreciation in words and actions, but he suggests that the best way to show people that you appreciate them is to express how their behavior enhances your life rather than resorting to pat labels. Don't just say, oh, you're so wonderful. How about, I love the way that you communicate, and when you were up here and you bring humor into the platform assistant. I so appreciate that. That's going to be more meaningful than you're just awesome, right? And she is that, but it means more when you can describe a behavior. And the last one is acceptance. And I'm going to read that one because I found this important. Acceptance is the natural expression of an inner dialogue in which unity predominates over differences. The more self-accepting you are for both your light and dark sides, and yes, we have both, we're light and shadow, and there's gifts in the dark sides, low vibrational selves, the less judgmental you will be about those around you. If you find yourself vigorously reacting to minor qualities in other people, ask what this is telling you about yourself. Because it's never about the other person, it's about something in ourselves. I'm not going to get deep into that, but there's more to be said. Every relationship can be a mirror if we are willing to look into it honestly. When we react disproportionately to another person, it's usually because they're mirroring back something that we do not acknowledge in ourselves, period. No, I hope I don't trip on my robe. No, no tripping allowed. So that's all about those four things. You want to have affection. You want to have attention. You want to have, what was the third one? Appreciation. And the fourth one? Acceptance. Those are the four that everybody needs. And you also can look at yourself and go, what is it that I'm needing that I'm not receiving? And then also give it to yourself, because my partner's job is not there to give me everything that I need. If I give it my self-appreciation, most likely they're going to mirror that back to me. And the other commitment that we're going to talk about just very briefly is forgiveness. And that commandment is, thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not kill. What he says about that is that holding on to grievances, regrets, and resentments is a certain recipe for perpetual suffering. I don't think I want to sign up for that. However, it's called transforming judgment into understanding allows peace to replace hostility. We want to be open and hear and listen. What is another person's point of view? Understanding fosters forgiveness, which dissolves anger and fertilizes hope. This is the foundation of emotional freedom. We need to forgive. And there's a couple suggestions on how to do that. I have it's about feeling and expressing your feelings and then replacing them. I have a forgiveness letter if anyone's interested that you write to the person that you're ticked off to, right? And then it's speaking your 5 emotions. Another way that is suggested in the book is you go to a private place out in nature and you take some stones or rocks and a marker and you write down anything that is been irritating you. And then you can take those rocks, and make sure nobody's around, please. And you throw them, and you can yell and you can swear, because you need to have an emotional release. Because we can say, I forgive you, but we're still having parts of us that need to be honored in our feeling zone. So I have one final story. An elderly gentleman got on a bus one February 14th carrying a dozen roses. He sat beside a young man who looked at the roses and said, somebody's going to get a beautiful Valentine's Day gift. Yes, said the older man. And a few minutes later, the elderly man noticed the young companion was still staring at the roses. He asked him, do you have a girlfriend? Yes, I do. I'm going to go see her now, and I'm bringing her this. And he held up a beautiful Valentine's Day card. They rode in silence for about 10 more minutes, and the old man rose to get off the bus. And as he stepped into the aisle, he gently placed the roses in the young man's lap. And he said, I think my wife would like you to have these. I'm going to tell her that I gave them to you. He left the bus quickly, and as the bus pulled away, the young man turned to see the old man enter the gates of a cemetery. I got the God bumps just speaking that. So there's only love. We are love. And love is that light. It is the light between us. It is that light and love that we share. And so it is. Namaste.